Captain Peter Cutsey, this is my briefing room, and we are now going to do the shutdown and secure procedures, the last two items on a normal flight. Let's read them first from the FCOM, and in my other briefings, I have supporting PowerPoints for these procedures, which make it a little easier to study with, following word for word from the FCOM. Shutdown procedure. Start the shutdown procedure, of course, after taxi is complete. The captain will set the park and brake. In this case, it's the captain, and verify that the park and brake light is illuminated and electrical power set. And it is set. If APU power is needed, well, it is, and we have actually put the APU generator bus switches on, and the source off lights were extinguished. If external power needed, not the case for now. Engine start levers cut off. Then we would do that. If there's towing required, not required in this case, we've come into the gate. So you would read the hydraulic system A requirements of not pressurizing, etc. In other words, you would follow these instructions if towing is required. Then, once the engine start levers have been moved to cutoff, fasten seatbelts off, anti-collision off, fuel pump switches off, cabin utility power switch as needed. We'll say off for tonight. IFE passenger seat power switch off, wing anti-ice off, engine anti-ice off, hydraulic panel set, engine hydraulic pumps on, electrical hydraulic pumps off, air conditioning packs auto, isolation valve switch open, engine bleed switches on, APU bleed switch, air switch, I should say, on, exterior lights as needed, flight director switches off, and transponder mode selector standby. And when the chocks are in place, the captain's communicated with the lead attendant and park and brake release on his command. An APU is needed. Remember that if you're going to shut it down, follow your company maintenance procedures. We'll leave the APU running and let maintenance do that for that procedure. So we'll go ahead now and into the aircraft and do that. So we've established electrical power on the APU buses. We've come to the gate, and we have set the park and brake. The captain has set the park and brake. And now the park and brake is set, he can go into his actions with the engine start levers cut off. And whoops, a little bit on the software there, just okay. So the engines are spooling down. Good. And we will just confirm everything that we were supposed to do. And I'll just slide it over to make sure that I get it done properly. And as we go through the software here, just bear with me. So fasten seat belts, let's move up to that. Off. So off. Anti-collision off. By the way, the strobe should, the logo should have been left on. That was a mistake in my comments with respect to the after landing procedure. We should have left the logo on. So anti-collision off. And fuel pump switches, let's go to those. Off. We've left the APU running. We're not going to be attending in attendance on the flight deck as far as center tank fuel. We don't have any, so we'll leave the left aft boost pump on and let maintenance handle the rest. And then cabin utility switches. Off, and the IFA off. Wing anti-ice switches. Off, engine anti-ice. Off, and hydraulic panel. The engine hydraulic pumps on, they're left on, and the electrical hydraulic pumps off. And across to the isolation switch, open. Engine bleed switches on. APU bleed switch, and it should be on. And we would have put that on when we were taxiing in, depending on what you were going to do as far as the cabin temperature is concerned, etc. But normally you would have the APU bleed on the ground. Exterior light switches as required, they're all set up. We want to just go up and make sure that they are set properly. We're at the gate. So the light should be on steady. And that's correct, and the logo is on. The rest of the lights are off, so that's good. And then the flight director's off. Let's go up and do that. And transponder to standby. Selected. An APU is needed, which we've got it running. Maintenance are going to shut it down later, and that actually completes the shutdown procedure. And there'd be a checklist to follow. And we would normally do the shutdown and secure checklists together, or I should say together. So let's just go ahead and do the secure procedure. We'll kind of read and do as we're doing it. IRS mode selectors. And that'll be off. Just bear with me. That engine switch moved on its own. The software is very touchy. You have to be careful where you move the switches. So IRS mode selectors off. And emergency lights off. While we're coming down, we'll do it first. We'll do it in the proper sequence here. Okay, emergency lights off. We'll have to kind of see if we can get that properly here. There we go. Emergency lights off, and then a window heat off. And the air conditioning packs off. And then we would do the shutdown and secure checklists. So this is the termination of the flight. And all procedures were done from the electrical power up in Muscat to the secure procedure here in Dubai. I have supporting PowerPoints for all procedures in my Google Drive folder. I hope you enjoyed this last video on normal procedures as far as a normal flight is concerned. So join me for my next video series in my Google Drive folder. My information is on screen. Use my email address if you wish to take part in this kind of learning and refresher training. Thank you.